Chair and board. It's nice to have this opportunity. It is unusual to have quite so many people here. I guess word is out about the free breakfast buffet here. So you might want to be more careful in the future letting the word out. On September 25th, I sent Chancellor Kavanaugh a letter, and I copied you, Mr. Chair, offering the state system binding interest arbitration as a fair means to resolving the outstanding issues on the negotiating table with faculty. I'm here today to ask the board to accept that offer, giving peace to both faculty and our students as we end this semester and move into the next year. You're about to hear about some of the unresolved issues on the table. There are certainly many others you may not hear about, but there are significant issues on the table, and we think that those could be resolved. Some could be resolved by the time of arbitration, but it would be fair to have a neutral party determine how to resolve the rest. We've been at the table officially since August of 2010, and probably more accurately since full teams met in December of 2010. That's a long time. Faculty, coaches, and STUPA have been without a contract since June 30th, 2011, which is the longest we've gone without a contract in the 40-year bargaining history of the faculty union. Binding interest arbitration is a fair way to resolve our differences, and I'm asking you to accept our offer. It expires Monday, so we can move in some direction and get some closure before the end of the year. Thank you.
If you can do me a favor and introduce yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, my name is Kevin Mahoney. I'm from Kutztown University. I am in the English department there, and I've been there for 10 years now. Before I learned that the Chancellor's Office was going to limit the time for public discussion today on this issue, I was planning on telling you a little bit about why I chose to come to Kutztown University, why I chose to turn down a job at George Washington University for more money, for a lower teaching load, and in a city that I loved and happened to live at the time. But there's no time for all that right now, so I'm going to limit what I have to say to just a couple things. And it really comes down to this: as Chancellor, you can't have it both ways. You can't claim to want the highest faculty and come and thank us all for all our work here, while then offer us a proposal that you turn around and turn the majority of our faculty into low-paid, part-time academic piece workers. You can't have it both ways by putting forth a proposal that claims to be concerned about market forces, and they turn around to show either a disregard or misunderstanding of the academic job market and why high-quality faculty choose the PASSHE institutions. And finally, you can't have it both ways when you call upon faculty to unite with our administration, our university presidents, and your office to stand by your side to help defend PASSHE against some of the worst budget cuts we've ever seen in the history of this institution, and then turn around and put a proposal on the table that disrespects the fundamental nature of our work. So with that, I'll turn it over to my colleague.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Bikini, members of the board, thank you for this opportunity to speak to you, and I'm hoping that with a few short words in the time that's limited, that I can implore you, possibly persuade you to settle this contract with us and get it done. I've spoken in front of you before. I'm a representative of the faculty that are working in the trenches with the students to educate citizens of Pennsylvania. I've met with some of you. Actually, you had a board meeting at Kutztown and you saw the very students that we educate. There are a number of faculty from KU that actually wanted to be here today to talk to you directly, and they were unable to because they're stuck with classes, they're working with students on projects, they have meetings, they have research, they're working to educate these students. So personally, I'm going to represent them and give you letters from over 50 faculty that have written to you, not just to ask you to settle, but to explain to the board what we do. We have a job that is extremely important. We have stood with you side by side to tell the governor that our job is extremely important. We have helped successfully stop budget cuts that would have gutted this state system. So I would ask you, consider the faculty, the faces that are all here today. They're all here today that represent the various faculty around the institutions that we're here to provide education for those future citizens of Pennsylvania. I would ask you, I would implore you, please bargain, settle, get this done, eliminate the stress that's with the students and with the faculty. It'll help us get about the business that we're here to do, and that's to educate the future citizens of Pennsylvania. Thank you.
For the record, that was Paul Quinn from Pennsylvania University.
Good morning. My name is Mary Popovich from California University of Pennsylvania. I'm here to represent temporary faculty and as an abscond delegate. In a quote by Oscar Wilde, "I can stand brute force, but brute reason is quite unbearable. There is something unfair about its use. It is hitting below the intellect." According to Webster's dictionary, temporary is described as being used, serving, or enjoyed for a limited time. I hope this is not the future of our state system schools. Temporary faculty members strive to deliver high-quality education, many offering life experience in the field they instruct, or by supplementing their skill set through additional specialty certifications. I have spent many hours and incurred financial expense by recertifying to maintain the numerous credentials to keep me up to date in the discipline I teach. Most of these expenses are not reimbursed by the university because they exceed the number of reimbursable allowances as temporary faculty. I have attended conferences, taken exams, completed accreditation standards, and driven many miles to deliver quality instruction that students pay for and deserve. My position does not bind me to publish or perish, but temporary faculty contributes to their department, university, and community. Just because you may believe we are to be used for a limited time, that does not justify limited pay for maximum service. We establish close bonds with our students just as any other faculty would. Why are we being targeted to provide more for less? Fortunately, temporary faculty in the state system are guaranteed certain benefits as defined by the collective bargaining agreement, such as the right to the grievance procedure, sick and personal days, as well as health and welfare benefits. Because of the strong CBA, we have better working conditions than many of our colleagues at other universities. I personally believe this is why we produce students that are work-ready. The productivity has been top-notch by faculty at most state system schools because faculty work together as a team for student success. Increasing workload for temporary faculty will be detrimental to our educational mission. These workload changes would amount to decreased pay for our current temporary faculty. If you are asking for these concessions for the good of education, what has PASSHE done to do more for less? Why does this more for less option begin with an inverted pyramid? We get less and those at the top get more. If you think additional workload without pay is the answer, perhaps you should view the business model and see what has happened. There's a study conducted by CareerBuilder.com that shows the two causes of low morale in the workplace is poor leadership and increased workload without incentives. This type of atmosphere decreases productivity, which I recall is a driving force for distribution of state system funding. How will decreased morale by faculty engage our students to learn? This proposed action would limit our ability to serve our students, create a depressed atmosphere on campus, and for many, eliminate our right to certain benefits. This approach is like asking an elevator to go up one more floor when there's nothing to support it. In closing, because we are employed as temporary, does this mean we should accept the treatment this definition implies? We are educated and dedicated individuals and do not deserve to be treated like chewing gum that lost its flavor. We face daily challenges as well as thoughts of losing benefits, being replaced, increased workload, less pay, reduced summer employment, or none at all, and delay in moving up rank and pay, regardless of the hours we spend at work or the dedication to the university we serve. Points to ponder, Board. People are human, unlike elevators, but they do have their maximum load capacity, and when a load is exceeded, the system fails. But since I like to be optimistic, I like to make lemonade when someone gives me lemons, so I'll leave you with this comment. One of these days I will be permanent. My workload will be reduced, pay won't matter, and I will be one with all. Unfortunately, I'll be positioned on the other side of the turf, pushing up daisies. However, I will be at peace knowing I fought for my colleagues, those who devote their time and talents to the educational process, regardless of their status. What counts in life is the time between the dashes for future improvement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on another issue to speak to the board? Hearing none. I did skip the approval of the minutes. The minutes were distributed for the meetings